All right, what's going on, guys? How are you today? So today I want to do a review of the Xero Barefoot shoe. I believe this is the men's HFS II. I've had this shoe for quite a while now. I've put it through its paces. I've probably put hundreds and hundreds of miles on this, running, walking, taking it on trails, taking it all over the place. I've been very impressed with it. I'm fairly particular with my barefoot shoes, but this one's actually really impressed me. I've tried Xero before, and their last shoe fell apart on me fairly quickly, and this shoe is really holding up, and the tread is really good on this. So, with that being said, let's dive into the shoe, and I'll go through some of the finer details of the shoe. All right, so when you're looking at the shoe here, this is basically the side profile of it, and you can see there's zero heel drop, right? So it doesn't have that huge supportive heel like some shoes, and then there's no toe scoop on the front, so it's a really flat shoe. And the one thing that I'll say, especially if you're trying to get into barefoot shoes, is you can't just jump right into it. It takes time, and you need to, especially if you're a really bad heel striker like I was, switching over to actually running on your forefoot and using your toes to actually propel you forward, that takes some time, and it's not something, at least for me, that came naturally. So this was a progression over years and years and years of switching over to barefoot shoes. But I've came to this one because I traditionally wore these Merrell Vapor gloves, and I really like these, but my feet were starting to get really beat up. And I think the thing with these, as you can see, is like it's literally just a very thin piece of rubber. So when you're running on asphalt, when you're running on concrete, you're running on rocks, I wouldn't recommend running on rocks. You feel every single rock that you step on in these shoes. But you know, you really need to have your feet muscles grow and learn how to support your foot while you're running. And these really help me do that. I got my own gripes with these shoes. You can see the wear and tear on them, kind of in some funky spots from me running on my forefoot. But yeah, staying focused on these shoes are freaking awesome. I like them just because they have that little bit of added cushion right here. So you can see it's a little bit thicker than these Merrell ones. The Merrell ones, it's super flimsy, and it's just basically a thin piece of rubber that's there. These actually have a little bit of heft to it. Now granted, they're still fairly light, right? You can see how easily and pliable I can bend these shoes, but just when you're impacting the ground, that little bit of support I feel like makes a huge difference, and they've really been saving my feet over the years. Now, I don't know what Xero made these soles out of, but I'm not exaggerating. Like, I've put hundreds and hundreds of miles on these shoes, and this is one of the main reasons why I want to do the review on the shoe. Like, I'm extremely impressed because there is very minimal wear on these treads. And like I said, I would take them on gravel trails. I'll take them on asphalt, concrete, at the beach, at the gym, treadmills, indoor track, like whatever I've thrown at this shoe. And you can see there's like very, very minimal wear everywhere around the shoe, even on the toe box. And again, I squat, bench, deadlift, like I do everything in these shoes. These are like my primary go-to gym shoes, and these things are freaking great. I've got another pair of Xero shoes, mainly because I was so impressed with this shoe. I felt like, you know, I wanted to give the Xero brand another try. So I ended up picking these up. I forget what model these are. I think it says it in here. These are the men's Scrambler Mid 2. And I ended up picking these up because I like very minimalist shoes. I like it when it's really thin. You can feel what's actually underneath your feet. You can feel the rocks when you're running. And yeah, I mean, this shoe's been pretty awesome. It's not waterproof, but same thing. I put this shoe through its paces. I would go hiking, taking it on hiking trails, up mountains, backpacking, everything, basically throwing everything at this shoe. And I really like it. Same thing. It's fairly pliable. There's a little more heft down here, a little bit more cushion because it is a hiking shoe, right? So you're stepping on big boulders and rocks. But you can see here, like just from me wearing these shoes every day, there's a little bit of wear up on like the sides of the foot here. And then this side, I believe, yeah, it's starting to get a little bit of a hole there, which is a little bit unfortunate. But I think the big thing, and the reason why I bring this shoe up, was just the sole. So you can see the actual tread on the bottom. Like, it is super worn down right here, and maybe it's a little hard to tell on the camera, but like it's super worn down. Let me see if I can get like a top profile. Yeah, because you can see the lugs, right? And the lugs on the bottom of the shoe, it's just super worn down right there. That's where I strike. right in that forefoot. And then same thing on the heel. And I would expect it a little bit more from the heel because, you know, sometimes I drag my feet just a tiny, tiny bit. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed in this because I was hoping that these would hold up a little bit better. But yeah, it's super worn down right in that forefoot. Still really good tread on the toes right here, but right in that forefoot where I step, you know, with, I guess I don't even know what to say, all of my weight consistently. That's where I strike, is right on that forefoot. These are really, just really worn down, which I'm a little bit disappointed about. But yeah, I think, you know, flipping over to these shoes, I can't say enough about how durable and just a complete shoe this has been. And flipping back to these Merrells, like the Merrells, but they've got some durability issues. And then I don't like these because they just beat my feet up a little too much because there's really no cushion there. It's just a thin piece of rubber, where I find that these just save my feet that little bit extra. And it was a little bit of a transition traditionally when I was running in these, just because like these things, they're basically like a sock. It's super light. There's no weight to it. So, and the other thing that is also I would like to mention is when you're running, because these do form to your feet, like it doesn't matter how you strike, you'll strike naturally. Whereas with these, because it's a flat molded bottom, so if you tend to run on the outside of your foot just a little bit, it pushes your foot flat. So that's one thing that I've learned is like this can kind of manipulate your foot while you're running a little bit. But also these are, obviously because this is basically a sock, this has a little bit more weight to it. So it was a little bit of a transition. I trained for a half marathon last year. I actually bought some proper ultra running shoes. And those were like moon boots to me, especially going from the Vapor Glove and then to this and then to that ultra running shoe. It was so heavy, and I actually had a lot of like hip flexor problems. But yeah, I've been very impressed with these shoes. These things are freaking awesome. I would definitely recommend these. And specifically, I don't know if it's just this specific model of shoe, the HFS II, but this thing has held up like a champ, and I'm very impressed. And I would definitely recommend, if you're looking for a barefoot shoe and you don't want to go super minimalist. I know some people literally just use like sandals and flip-flops. I was wearing these for a really long time. Like I said, these were great. I think this was a great stepping stone, but just if you're putting some serious miles in, these just beat my feet up a little too much. This little bit of extra support and cushion has been amazing. So definitely recommend these shoes if you're interested. I'll try to find some stats and measurements, how much these shoes weigh. I don't have a scale on me right now, so I'll probably just go based off the website. But yeah, awesome shoes, guys. If you enjoyed this video, thanks for tuning in. Otherwise, Xero HFS II, awesome shoe. Highly recommend.